Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another video. I'm very excited for this one because it is a special video. I have been playing Persona 5 The Phantom X. That's right, Sega sponsored the video. Thank you so much, Sega, and they gave me the opportunity to play Persona 5 The Phantom X a little bit early, up until the end of the first palace in the game, and I have a lot to say. Persona 5 The Phantom X is available to download right now for free on PC, Steam, or you can get it on your mobile phone through the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So check it out right now. The link is in the description or on the pinned comment for this video. And I have to be honest, y'all. If you're a Persona fan, I don't have to sell this game to you. You're gonna like it. Check it out, it's free. If you're not a Persona fan, please tune in. It's a very, very good place to start for Persona, in my personal opinion, but I have a lot to say, so let's just jump right in. Persona is a long-running franchise. It is a franchise known for its lengthy games, its quality titles, its highly rated games throughout the years, and Persona 5 specifically was a massive success that a ton of people loved when it first came out a few years ago. Persona 5 The Phantom X, or P5X, is the latest installment in the Persona gaming franchise, but it is the first time that the franchise made the move to mobile, and it's the first live service title in the Persona franchise. And I'll be honest, the premise of a Persona game that constantly gets content and gets updated regularly and that is free to play, I love the idea. So you jump in, Persona 5 The Phantom X, first thing that you see is something familiar if you played Persona 5. The intro of the game, like the first minute or two, it's very much the casino scene in Persona 5. You see Joker, you control Joker, but there's quickly a twist. A very, very cool twist. And after that scene, where you get the introduction of Wonder, the brand new protagonist here for Persona 5 The Phantom X, I already knew after that scene that this game would be very special, and it kept going as I was playing the game, okay? So I've been playing the game for this preview on my PC. If you don't know me, I mostly play on consoles, occasionally on PC. I'm very intrigued to check it out on mobile as well, but my experience here was on my PC, which is a PC for video editing, nothing too powerful. It's a laptop. I was running the game at a 1920 by 1080 resolution, and it ran at a very smooth 60 frames per second with occasional frame drops here, very occasional frame drops when I was playing the game on my PC. So if you have any type of gaming rig, you should be set. I'll be honest, the developers of Persona 5 X did a fantastic job here. There is a lot to like, okay? I'm going to start with the fan service. If you saw some of the trailers, you know that the Phantom Thieves of Heart are back. The main cast of Persona 5, they are back here for this title. They are not the focus, but they're here in the game. This game has heavy fan service, but they have multiple ways to do it. Ways that definitely worked for me. They clearly understood the assignment here. It's not too forced in, it's just good. For example, there is one scene where, I'm not going to spoil anything for this video, by the way, but there is one scene where you have the introduction of Joker from Persona 5 meeting the protagonist. I'm not talking about the intro scene, but the scene that you get later on. It is epic. It is extremely dope. It is fantastic. That is one big way to bring back these characters that is very exciting for older fans like myself. That being said, there is also small things that made me smile every time that I saw them. For example, I'm traveling in my little town here to go back to my house and my room to change outfits, save whatever I wanted to do, and I'll walk in there, got a little cutscene because I had to go to this place for my main story, and I could see a character from a previous game just walking on that street alongside the other random NPCs. But I recognize that character. So this is something that isn't forced in, but it's something that if you played previous Persona the title, you're like, oh, you know the meme? You're like, oh, I know this person. Oh. So if they gave me more of that, it's awesome. I'm here for it. Another thing that is absolutely great is the cutscenes in that title for, again, the story. When you progress through the story, you get big cutscenes. It's very much P5, right? It looks like Persona 5. The cutscenes are drawn like Persona 5. They're animated like in Persona 5, and I love these cutscenes so much, so they're great. And I'm feeling like I'm playing more P5 at this point. And I played it for not that long, y'all. I'll be honest. Again, a few hours, and at this point, it's hard for me to explain it, but I was more excited playing this than other spin-offs, which I love. I love all other Persona spin-offs that we got, the Persona 5 spin-off specifically. But this one feels like I am playing, again, Persona. You have a big story, a story where society's desires are being stolen from them, a twist on the original idea of Persona 5, and that in and of itself is very exciting to me. I'm curious to see how they're gonna make it happen. You awaken to your persona. Every party member, they have their persona. When Wonder, the main character, awakens to his persona, fire! Fire scene, and they brought back the music, the awakening music from P5 here for your new characters and your new story. The music in general, most of the tracks in P5 are brought back here in P5X, and it works so well. It brings back memories. It doesn't feel like they just reused stuff, you know. It feels like the follow-up to P5 in a way. So it's very exciting stuff. Again, they did put original music during certain scenes. For example, there is one mini boss that you fight early on, brand new track that I don't recognize, and I played P5 a few times in Royal as well. So that is very much appreciated. Another thing that you're going to recognize, which thank God it's here, is the combat system. The combat system in Persona games are fire. In P5, they have this turn-based combat system with a one more system. Here, P5 brings back the strategic turn-based combat system that you have, yes, in P5, but with more options, more strategy options, and a twist again on the one more system, which again, I do not specifically want to spoil. That being said, there is one thing that I must say and that I must mention that for now, I think it's great. I love it so much. You have if you paid attention to like marketing and if you've been watching my channel, there is a lot of characters that were shown for P5X. And I was like, oh my, there's so many characters and characters that are like heavily detailed and drawn. They seem to have their names, persona, and their style and everything. And I was like, there's so many characters. How are they going to make this work? Here's the answer. In this game, you and your party members are Phantom Thieves. Once again, Phantom Thieves. You have your mascot following you around, the little owl character. He's great. But you also have characters that you can recruit that are usable in battle. Those are called Phantom Idols, okay? That is something that is completely unique and new for Persona 5X. So Phantom Idols, they allow you, the player, more options than before to customize your party and battle. So you could change a party member and put a Phantom Idol in there. They are said to be a cognitive manifestations of other people with rebel spirits. They could be people that the protagonist knows or people that he doesn't know. They could be characters from previous titles. They could be anything at this point. And that idea is insane. That idea is very interesting. So hear me out. In Persona titles, you always have like a limited number of party members. With Phantom Idols, from the way that they're describing it and from my experience playing P5X, possibilities are endless. To me, that sounds freaking amazing, especially if, again, you go back to previous titles, which they talked about that. We know it's in the plans, so that is freaking exciting to me. One thing that I absolutely wanted to mention when talking about Persona 5X is the gacha mechanics. So if you didn't know, P5X is very different than other Persona games in that sense. You do have gacha mechanics that, once again, from my experience, are more interesting than not. They don't feel too forced in my opinion. You get pulls, gacha pulls that you can do to earn Phantom Idols, but there is a bunch of other things that you can also do, and Phantom Idols are not locked behind the gachas. You can earn them through, random events in game that will allow you to earn some new ones after the one that you get initially. I was a little bit scared about one thing playing the game, and I didn't want, for example, the Phantom Thieves of Heart or other previous characters to feel forced in, but from everything that I've seen playing it, again with the appearances of the Phantom Thieves and Joker and my experience with the title, it didn't feel forced in at all. They even have a role in the story, but it's not their game. It's clearly not their game. They're not the focus, but they have a role in the story. That is, to me, best case scenario. I said it before. I was ready to move on from the Phantom Thieves of Heart. As much as I love these characters, we are moving on here. They're here, they have a role, but they're not the main focus. You have a main cast which is very appealing. They are attractive characters that you're gonna learn to like very early on playing the game. So that, to me, is very reassuring. I do want to talk about two other things here very quickly before we wrap things up. So if you played previous modern Persona titles, you heard an English dub or at least English voiceover playing that game for example, the main story minimum. And sometimes in certain games like in Persona 3 Reload, you have voiced social links here. In Persona 5 The Phantom X, we don't have an English dub, so that is just something that I wanted to mention. It's something to keep in mind, and I'll have to admit that during certain scenes when you meet certain characters that, again, I know and love because I've been playing Persona games for years, like an Igor in the Velvet Room, hearing him in Japanese felt a little bit weird. I'm not used to that. It's been years since I heard that, so it felt a little bit different. Now, not a deal breaker to me, but something that I definitely wanted to mention. So I have to say, although my experience with Persona 5 The Phantom X was fairly short, I really appreciated the opportunity. So once again, thank you to Sega for that. And in general, it's a very positive experience with it. It plays well, it's smooth, it runs well, the game is very charming. Certain scenes just made me laugh, made me smile. It's great. I am already hooked to these characters. I definitely want to play some more, and I am looking forward to seeing what they do, again, with the live service nature of that game. Not only is it free, but we're going to keep getting content as we progress through the months of support here for this title. So it's great. If I had to pick one thing that I think definitely stood out to me that I was not expecting to stand out that much is the Phantom Idols. The fact that you can recruit so many different characters in that game to be alongside you in battle for your party. These characters being so unique and original. I see endless possibilities, especially in combat, which is one of the things that I love so much about P5X. You still have your calendar system, you still have your social links, which, don't get me wrong, they're great. They give depth to the characters, the side activities that you can do, work a job and stuff. That has always been one of the staples of Persona, and it's still here, it's still great. And the fact that it's, again, free with promise to get more content constantly, I cannot recommend it enough. Check it out. Again, it's free right now, PC, Steam, or on the Google Play Store if you have an Android or an Apple product or phone. You can get the Apple App Store, get it through there. It's completely free. Please check it out. Link is in the description and the pinned comment, and give me your comments. I want to know what you guys think about this one, because this game is new. A live service title for Persona is completely new, but I want to stress that out. I'm not the person who's gonna play these style of games normally, and I played it for a few hours. I'm gonna go right back to it as soon as I'm done recording here. So it's very, very solid, and I highly recommend you guys to at least check it out. Don't forget to click the link in the video description or in the pinned comment of this video and download Persona 5 The Phantom X now for free. Do yourselves a favor, as we say. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.